Hey everyone, welcome back to Homegrown Passion. Out here in the high tunnel, got some work to do out here. Been working on my flowers, got some beautiful days coming up here. It's been really nice. We had quite a few rainy days this past week or so, so it's nice to have some nice warm days. So I'll take you through what I'm going to do today, work on the strawberries, show you some new product I'm trying with my hanging baskets so I don't have to water them so much, and go over some updates in the greenhouse. So stay tuned. So you can see the strawberry plants are growing quite nicely, but they're getting lots and lots of flowers on them. So I've been going through and pinching the flowers off for a while. I'm going to keep pinching them off until each plant gets nice 5 big leaves. Because right now, like that guy just has 3, this one over here has 3. So you want to make sure the plant puts its energy into itself before it starts producing fruit, because then I'll get bigger and better fruit throughout the whole summer. Since these are on an everbearing, their Albion is the variety that we're using, and last year, like I've told you before, I had these producing all the way through November, so we hope to keep that going again this year. So if I can get them off to a good healthy start, I'll have a good healthy season. As you can see here, I got the grow bags planted finally. These guys are a little bit behind the ones I have in the buckets, but since these are an everbearing, I'll have a nice long season with them. Doug strung the drip tape through here, got it all the way down for me. We got these guys filled up. He had to put a few holes in the bottom of the bag here because it holds so much water, and you know strawberries don't like wet feet, so that does drain out, but it keeps the medium nice and wet here. So like I said, we're going to do a little experiment and see what does better, the grow bags or the Beto buckets. So last year we had some of the runners touch the ground and I let them go this winter. Look how beautiful these plants are, and look at how nice and big these strawberries are over here, and then I got some nice ripe ones over here to pick. This plant's not quite as big as that one, but still got some nice strawberries going on. So Barrett and I have been going through every day and eating strawberries off the ground.
Is it good?
Yes.
So everybody knows how much I love to do flowers. I started all my wave petunias and my impatiens on March 5th this year, but I couldn't get any seeds for super bells or super petunias, so I went to our local nursery and picked some up because I always think they make a beautiful basket. So I have another basket here to do, and I wanted to show you what I'm doing this year. It's a little bit different. This is not a paid endorsement. It's just something I saw an advertisement for in one of the greenhouse magazines I get, and it's called Soil Moist. And it's a really cool product. It's supposed to help you reduce your watering times and keep your plants baskets from drying out fast. So they're like little tiny pellets, and they're non-toxic, and you use 2 teaspoons per basket. And I watched a YouTube video, of course, on how to do it, and this one person suggested you get them wet before you put them in with your potting soil. So what I do is I go ahead and take 2 teaspoons, put it in this 16 ounces of water, and it's amazing how big these things get. So it just takes a few minutes. So I'm going to let this sit in the water here, and I'm going to go ahead and fill up my basket. These wire baskets, I got these I think 3 years ago, and Doug paints them for me, and this is the first year I've got new cocoa liners for them. I recycled them the past couple years, sanitized them, put them in. So I got new cocoa liners, and it has a little bit of a different insert for it than the other ones I had, so hopefully this works good. So let me go get this filled up with some potting soil, and I'll show you what this looks like in a couple minutes. So I let the soil moist sit for probably about 5 minutes, and you can tell all those little granulars absorbed all the water that was in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it here into the pot I'm going to pull it in. I'm only going to use half of it. Well, a little bit more than half, that's okay. And you're supposed to get it down a couple inches below so it gets into the root zone. So this is what I've been doing. I've just been kind of pushing it in here. Like I said, this is the first year I've used this. Doug's going to put a link to it down below. There's different sizes you can get. You don't have to buy a big jar like I did, but I have lots of plants I'm going to do. So you just kind of mix it up with the soil. And it's supposed to, like I said, retain the water, reduce watering frequencies, and help your basket stay nice and moist. So I'll go ahead and get these guys planted. I'm putting 5 in each one of these. I think these are 16-inch baskets. I'm going to go ahead and put 5 plants in here. I know some people put 8 to 9 in there, but for me, past few years I've been putting 5, and it had a really nice results with it, and it looks like a pretty basket. So I'll get these guys in, and then I'll top it off with some more soil. So I thought this was a really pretty color combination here. There, now ready for watering. So, like I said, I've used these baskets my third year. I got the new cocoa liners, so Doug's going to put a link down below where you can find the baskets, the liners, everything. They come in different sizes and different colors. I just like the bigger basket. You just have to make sure you have a stronger hook for it. This little thing. So, there we go. Okay, so this is not greenhouse related, but it's one of my favorite things to do in the springtime, and that's look for morel mushrooms because they are so good to eat. We fry them up. Oh, they're awesome. So we have a couple different spots that we find them, and we constantly or consistently find them here. It's our Pine Tree Hill. There's some elms up in here because they're known to grow by dead and dying elm trees. And it's this honeysuckle bush here, and every year when we walk by, we always find a few. So I just wanted to show you that we found some this year. So that guy I've been watching for a whole week. He was just a tiny, maybe even like a dime size when we first spotted him. Now look how big he's getting. And then there's another one up over in here someplace, and he's getting taller and taller. So these, since I only found a couple here, I'm going to let them go. So hopefully next year I'll have more, and we'll get the spores going, and we'll have a bigger spot of morels.
Well, Kate just told me that we need more 2x4s for the strawberry buckets. So I'm going to just go ahead and saw some more. I know a lot of you have seen the wood miser go before, but I'm just taking some slabs of ash. I have some old ash trees that I pulled out of the woods over the years, and they've been stacked up. So I use these for my 2x4s or any kind of structural lumber. It seems to work pretty well. And so right now I'm just cutting 2x4s, and after I get this done, we'll start building the racks to hold up the strawberries. This is what I'm going to use to support the strawberries on this one row that I'm making. And these are all leftover pieces of metal from my pre-engineered metal building days. I have a bunch of this stuff. Usually I would scrap it, but I've kept a couple pieces back so that I could build stuff with it. So we'll try it for this. It'll be kind of like the same idea that Crop King has.
So I think we're going to end the video here. We've got a lot going on in the farm. We'll try to get most of it videotaped for you and put it up so you guys can see what we're doing. So until then, leave me any questions, comments, and suggestions down below, and we'll see you guys next video.